I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shore of Orion. I watched sea beams glittering down 10 hours a day. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain. Time to die. I've seen people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire. I watched sea beams literally down 10 hours a day. All those moments will be lost in time. Tears. I've seen things people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shore of the light. I watched sea beams glittering out I've seen things people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shore of the light. I watched sea beams glittering down Antarctica. All those moments lost in time, like tears.
But wait, there's more. Hang on to your seat, baby, cause this one's a screamer.
Oh my gosh, because this one's a screamer. All right, folks, welcome to another Aliens, UFOs, and UAPs. It's going to be just me today on the panel because fuck it. Everybody else is doing things and stuff, which makes sense. That's okay. So let's go ahead and just... Oh, let's do the intros really quick. Duh. Of course, I need to do this.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers, commentators, experts, and/or hosts. They do not explicitly or necessarily reflect nor represent the channel's policy or the views held by this channel or broadcaster. The broadcaster or its channel cannot be held accountable for all or any views expressed during this program.
It's just like Killer Cop 4, but she's got Hema instead of fry cook balls. I need you, Action Bastard! Action Bastard, I need you! Action Bastard, I need you! Why am I wasting time dancing?
You want to know why? Because the world is fucking flat, dog. And everything that you see up there, as far as like planets or stars, yeah, guess what, dude? It's fucking fake. It's just lights up there. The government put those lights up there so you dummies could just act like there's something up there.
Wait a second, are you a flat earther?
Call a crackhead.
You're stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're stupid. All right, folks, let's say hello to the cinema chats. And we have a J. Troy. We have a Jasper. A Demon Orb. And thank you, Jasper, for the late birthday wishes. Thank you very much. We went, me and a couple friends, we went out on the lake and we went kayaking on Horsetooth, or at Horsetooth, not in. Well, it was in the lake, but fuck it. And that's what it was called. So welcome, everybody. It's going to be just my punk ass tonight. So, whatever, it's my stream. Now I have full control. So we're going to go over some flying thingies in the sky and, accounts and, alien species, which ones are what and who and why and how, I guess. I don't know, but here we blow. Let's start with this. A UFO is filmed from a drone. It says drones, but it's well, maybe it's more drones. I don't know. But here we blow. Here we blow. I turned it down because we don't need to hear the music. So here it is, and I will show you what we're talking about. And right there, that little blob. And then it's right there. Okay, so I guess it's from multiple drones. But it looks like a drone itself. I mean, it literally looks like... What does that look like? What does that look like? A ball, but still. That doesn't mean... Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Is that the same thing? I don't know if that's the same thing. Oh, it says UFOs filmed from drones. So, never mind. Never mind. I got this wrong. I thought this was just multiple drones doing one footage, but no, it's a compilation. Duh. I can read. I swear to Bob. So here we go. So there's a disc thingy. Okay, well, and let's see. Yeah, there's something flying through the fucking sky. And doesn't mean it's an alien. It's unidentified for sure, but I mean, it could easily be a bird. Just the pixelization from the camera it's using, its sensor is shit, or it wasn't calibrated right, or they didn't white balance it properly, or it is that shitty. Because look at how fuzzy like this looks like not what it is because it's so fuzzy. If I didn't tell you what this was, you probably wouldn't know it was a forest or there were mountains in the background and this was a hill or anything, you know? And then again, a white thingy-mabobber floating. So what people have been doing recently is there's this like ball, this silver ball, or oh yeah, a metallic looking ball, and they're showing it like a sphere, and they're showing it floating around and doing blah. People have been taking it, putting it on a wire fishing line, and then hanging, having a drone holding it up and then flying, and you take the video and photos of only the sphere, and now you have a floating sphere. So it could just be attached to a drone, or there's many other ways you can fake this. It's very easy to fake this kind of stuff. And or the DPI is shite. How do I know what that is? It's probably a fucking bird. You just can't see the wings flapping because it's going fast. And these cameras, all they pick up, we talked about this 100 million times when we've gone over this, they pick up like movement and very little amount of stuff. And they're also sending it to a cloud. So there's like 3 different things that are making it so it's half the time you can't see a person's face properly. With these cameras, you can just see what they are wearing, how tall they are, other thingies about them that is just, enough for you to like semi-identify somebody. And a lot of times, a lot of people get away. Like the porch pirate motherfuckers. You just wear like a black hoodie and like a facey type mask thingy mabobber. And you just run up to somebody's porch after they get their package delivered and you yoink and just run away. It's really hard for these cameras to actually take enough information unless you're paying $1.5 gazillion. But if you have like 50 million cameras around and or your drone only has this certain sensor, then we're here. It could be. Why would it be in UFO if it was shaped like that? Okay, now it's just a white dot again. I'm tired of these white dots, but this is how it works. Yeah, and it's just a dot. Okay. Why did you all... Wait, why did that happen? Why did that happen? That's fucking weird. That jet should have not flown that close to... And it like fuel dumped or something. Why did it do... That's fucking weird, brah. What? Citation needed. I don't fucking believe that this is real, and or... I there's got to be some other explanation for it other than aliens. There's not enough proof for that. And then this little thingy that just flew by, like, that's, again, not enough proof. And it goes right there, that thing. It could be a deflated balloon that's still somehow falling out of the sky that wind is pushing or something. Again, these things could be 150 million things. They're not always just goddamn fucking obviously UFOs, because we don't have any proof of that. Once again, I fucking love if these things were fucking real, but we don't have proof. That's not proof to me. It was a Russian. Yeah, that's what oh, to damage it. Okay, that's what I was thinking. I was like, so why are they doing? Oh, they're doing it on purpose. That makes sense. Yeah, totes. That totally makes sense. Oh, Jesus Christ, Beavis and Butthead. What up, Al? How are you doing?
No, I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I am a little exhausted from going to the lake yesterday, but a good exhausted.
All right. You had you had the big birthday yesterday. Happy birthday.
Yes, well, thank you. All right, you're not going to be able to see this stuff, are you, huh? You're not going to be able to see what's on the screen?
I see clouds.
Okay, so you can see the screen. Awesome, cool, perfect. So here we go with some silly, stupid footage. We'll see. I hope we find some good stuff, and I have something kind of interesting to show later, but we'll go from there. Thank you for joining, Al. Again, the torpedo-like something flying through the sky is not anywhere close to being like proof to me.
Isn't it proof of a big sky dick?
Yeah, that's it's just sky penis. It's my detachable penis flying through the different fucking stream perfs. You fuckers keep passing it around so much. But other than that, like, to me, that could be done by anything. If you had a small itty bitty flying ball, it would look like a Subway sandwich, or it would look elongated. If the DPI of the camera or its sensor or it doesn't capture things quick enough, you're going to have things that look like that. There's a lot of reasons that a lot of this can happen. So here we blow.
Kind of stuff. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and if these drones are set up and you just put it on automatic or something, well, it's gonna do this. And if these were trail cameras, if these were ring cameras, if they were in all those cameras, if they're not set up properly and you just put default on them, they're gonna be shite unless you spend $1.5 gazillion on each fucking camera.
Yeah, like motion sensitive ones or whatever. Like that's what I use, and like you can, there's a lot you can do. You can actually set you can set it so that certain zones actually activate something. So like a squirrel running across your lawn doesn't set off.
Yeah, you can do it like
camera, but like someone coming up your driveway does, for instance. Like
yeah, you can do like height. So you're like, I don't want you to look at the ground because things move on the fucking ground, leaves.
Yeah.
I want you to look 3 feet and up because humans are taller than that.
I'm looking for a person. I'm looking for a vehicle.
Yeah.
I'm looking for something. Or and I don't want like the cars driving down the road to trigger a recording event, because then you fill up your, as big as you can get a thing. Like a video will fill up gigabytes or gigabits or whatever, no matter what you got. It'll fill it up quick if you don't have some sort of curating process.
Yeah, our Ring camera, we had to do stuff like that too, because every time like UPS truck went by, it would capture it. And so we had to make it be like, don't look all the way into the street.
Yeah, like 100%, stop at the sidewalk or something, right? Yeah. Like, got to be reasonable, right?
So,
and depending on where you live, you're like a rural property versus a condo versus your typical suburban house or urban home, where you're like in an urban environment where properties are like stacked and narrow and whatnot, you might, you could be getting people coming up your neighbor's walk, or like, some of them are shared or split, and you could, you might just want to get when someone actually addresses your door.
Exactly. So you make the range
I
very
live
close.
in the country.
Yeah.
I want to see like people coming up my driveway from a ways away.
Yeah.
But I don't want every car that drives by the main road to set it off.
Yeah, obviously. So once again, there's a lot of thingamabobbers, especially with drones, because that's what we're doing is we're watching drone footage. The drones. And so if you didn't set up your drone camera right, and there's another thing that people don't know what it is, and it's called white balancing. If you don't white balance stuff, sometimes it will come out weird looking as well. That is sometimes the thing that you don't always, nowadays, I don't think you have to do manually as much anymore, but it's always like a good idea to white balance out your camera before you start doing anything. And that literally is, you just take a white piece of paper, a white thing, anything, cover the lens, and you turn it on where it can see all of the white, and you just want it to be as white as possible, and it just makes it so that it sees white. Then it turns itself. That is what white is, and not a gray or not a tan color or something. Then it will be as clear as possible, or your white will be as white. And when you go to edit it, you won't have to deal with it being a crazy color or something that it wasn't. Hey, Pragmatic, welcome.
It's like you're seeing calibration's a thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you should calibrate your tools if they are sensitive to being not working because of a blah, a variable, like, so obviously.
Yeah.
And I started taking photography, or I started taking photos when I was probably 3 years old, 5. I mean, I know that doesn't make sense because like my dad was doing everything, but like I went.
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
Ghost town hunting when I was young, and that's what we did. My uncle, he worked for National Geographics, and he would get paid to go take photos of wildlife and other things, and he would just sell them to National Geographic. So like that's what he did for a living, was just go out into the middle of nowhere, take photos of really crazy things that you can't really see unless you want to go like to nosebleed, Rocky Mountain places and stuff, and sit there for 3 days under a hide and wait for something to happen, because that's what we would do sometimes. Although when he would take us, it was for ghost town hunting and mine hunting, in old buildings and old ghost towns and shit like that is what we were hunting back then. And we would just drive up to a town, and he would just take photos of all of the falling over houses and whatever, and we would go inside certain places, and that's what so I learned photography 1985. Let's just say 1988 is when I was actually understanding how to take photos. Let's put it that way.
Not just pressing the buttons. Well, then that's really cool. And you know what? Photography is a cool hobby that's been around a pretty long time, relatively. To modern times. It's a technology that's been around and developed a whole lot. Pardon the pun. And also, I want to say hi to Crystal, because I miss saying hi.
Do it.
And hi to everybody in the chat. I can't really see who's here, but Crystal's a good friend, and I say hello.
Yes. And thank you for putting up both of those links. So thank you for putting up Al's link. You rock, as always. Okay, so now let's see this fuzzy footage. See how like it's been uploaded so many times, or there's so much artifacts in this. I can't tell you what it is. It literally could be a missile. It could be any projectile, any kind of driven thing that you could build a model of that and somehow it could fly. I don't know.
Yeah, we got 4K and beyond, and yet every picture of a cryptid or a UFO was taken on a 4-bit graphics unit of some sort.
Exactly, similarly, just like this. And I understand why this looks like that, but again, we don't have any good footage. So okay, let's just go to the next thingies of the bubble because I want to see. We'll go to here first, then we'll go to a couple other things. Because that's totally real. That thing is totally real. I heard a pop. Okay. Let's stop right there. Go back here. Oh, Jesus. You came in again? Why are you coming in again? Why are you in here 2 times? I don't think you meant to do that. Which one do you want to use? You need to close one. Okay. Unmute. Okay, there you go. There we go. Yeah, there you got it now. Just unmute yourself and then you should have it.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
I'll close my cam, open my mic. Sorry, I don't know what the hell I did. I yeeted myself out of here.
It's okay, you're golden now.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. I've been stuck in a traffic jam and it was so bad that the cops actually drove up the sidewalk.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know what the hell is going on up here.
So
there's got to be a massive
accident?
accident. It's either an accident or there's some sort of a crazy thing that, like, I don't know if there's like a concert or something letting out that nobody thought to like let the cops know about, because that's there is a venue not far from where I am where something like that could happen, and they might have forgot to like buy rent the local law enforcement for traffic control, but something really dumb is happening.
Okay, yeah.
I hit it just wrong. I do this like once every couple of weeks. I hit something totally wrong.
Yeah, and I understand that. I'm on the road a bunch doing all my shows and shit. So yeah, I know. I get it.
And I literally did this in the effort to avoid a problem I knew was there on a road I would usually take to go where I was going.
Yeah.
And I I should have just stuck with that in retrospect. But hindsight.
Yeah.
Hindsight and everything.
Always. Always. Yep, always.
Right over us, man. It's gotta be a heli.
I honestly think this one is a drone. Just a weird shaped drone, or somebody put a cover over their drone to make it look weird. And we'll get a little bit better. I think they do zoom back into it. Yeah, they do zoom back into it.
Oh my god, that's not.
Okay, hold on, almost. So there we go. That's
other drones, are you? Is that what's happening?
Well, this says drone footage. Oh, this is real footage. This isn't drone.
Real footage.
So this is somebody had a drone and they put this weird shell on it, or they have a drone that looks like this, and that's all it is. This isn't a fucking UFO. It's way too small.
Yeah.
It literally is just some experimental flying thing of something that somebody's making or somebody made and is flying it. I mean, there's not that. If there was a shit ton of footage,
or something.
Yeah, but if there was a shit ton of footage of it, then I would be like, all right, dude, I get it. Then it might be. But if we only have this video of this, it's just probably somebody's personal thing they made and they were testing it.
It's not a helicopter. Man, I'm looking right at it. Oh my god.
Wouldn't be all that surprising, would it?
No, not nowadays.
No, I mean, imagine bringing a drone back like 20 years and people would be like very stumped, but they've become so commonplace.
Yeah, and that thing looks like it could be hovering and flying in so many ways, and I can't tell if it's actually moving forward per se, because this person is like moving their phone so much, so I can't really tell. Okay, let's get to here. At first, I wanted to say this looked like a deflating balloon that was falling, but I think somebody made something that looks like this and got it in the sky somehow. But it's hard to tell.
because I'm stopped, I'm able to quickly glance at the screen. It does look like a little bit like the silhouette of like one of the gas giants with a ring. Like it kind of has like a ball with like a elongated middle section of some sort. But it's a really fuzzy silhouette of some sort against the sky. Like I don't know. That could be any bad image.
Yeah,
Something, right? Like it's
yeah.
You know, if they had really good imagery, like with crisp outlines, like it wouldn't even be a thing, right? People would be like, well, I can tell what that is. The fuzzy images is like, well, there's something there. Congratulations, you just discovered that there are items in the sky. Is that like, can we leave it at that for that, or is it like, you know, we should do more guessing as to what it is?
Yeah. But it could be trash floating just for some reason.
Oh, it could, yeah. Like
looks
you get
like
those
that.
like you get an updraft and like a garbage bag or something will like somehow like get opened up and be up there, or like some other light item that can get airborne and
maybe there's some kind of pressure gradient that's happening right now, or something that's making the garbage bag.
It doesn't take much, especially like this time of in the part of the world I live in, like, you know, thunderstorms with like big pressure changes, like and high humidity air with like a cold front moving in will like cause crazy thunderstorms and all sorts of the time right before that, like you'll see all sorts of crazy winds. And that's,
it could be so many things
and stuff, and it doesn't have to be full tornado. Like you just all of a sudden, like you have this still warm air, and all of a sudden you feel the breeze. You're like, oh, we're gonna get a storm in the next hour, and you just kind of know, right? But it also reminded me of. Do you remember the story of the bubble boy? Not the bubble boy, the balloon boy, the one where like these people said their son was inside a balloon or something.
Yeah.
They had made like a homemade balloon and sent it up, and then had like everybody chasing after it, and they said their son was in it, but apparently their son was in the attic or something. And
that happened in Fort Collins. That happened here,
was
bro.
it? Oh, really? Oh,
that literally happened here downtown.
It was Colorado, but yeah, I didn't realize it was like right in your neck of Colorado.
And do you want to know what's even funnier? Me and my friends were downtown. 420 Grant was their street. You know, house number, you know.
Yeah.
And we were sitting out drinking beer in the middle of the day, and we swore to God we fucking saw a fucking
like a thing
UFO.
By.
Yeah,
wow.
we saw something in the sky floating through by the trees.
A skyborne object went by.
Yeah, it was behind the trees, and we only saw it for a couple seconds, and we all looked at each other and we're like, did somebody give us LSD or something? We were like, what the fuck? And then like an hour later, there was news reports everywhere. We had friends riding their bike over to us. Oh, dude, did you hear about what just fucking happened? Blah, blah, blah. And we knew about it like that because it was right next to us. It was like
you knew what
5
streets
streets down. Well, yeah, they found it. They figured it out. Right? Yeah. The cops knew what it was immediately. I mean, it literally was throughout town in an hour or two or something when it happened.
Something, or they like homemade?
Yeah. Well, but they made it look like a UFO or something, and I don't know. I don't remember 100% the thing. Hey, Victoria. But anyways, it happened.
Yeah,
no,
this is
I saw it in the sky.
It's an early viral video, like before social media viral videos became like a thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how many years ago that was, but I remember that like
2000,
crazy story.
2012, 2008. No, it's got to be like 2010, 2012, maybe. No, I don't know.
I have no idea. I don't want to speak for Crystal, but I wouldn't be surprised if she posted the link to the story from the original like NBC news.
I moved here in 2006, and then it was a couple years after that, I think.
So it has to be after about then, if you remember it happening locally to you.
So it's like I want to say 2008, but it's probably like 10 or something. Somebody look it up. Yeah. God damn it. Side chat.
This first video is from California, recently recorded, where a person captured a very strange thing, hovering and looking like a biblically accurate angel.
A biblically accurate angel. That's fucking hilarious. Well, yeah, it's like one of those thingy movovers. Yeah, that's exactly totally what he's saying. Because yeah, technically in the Bible, in certain places, like I guess they look like balls of eyes and other weird things. I don't fucking know. I've never read that. I've never read it that way, but supposedly it's in there. And I've read the Bible multiple times, but maybe I fucking skipped that fucking verse. I don't fucking remember, but it doesn't matter. But anyways, here we go. The sensor in your camera is not seeing something properly. It just doesn't know how to see that for some reason. Yeah, that's it. You have a shitty fucking... Yeah, you have a shitty camera phone, and it can't see this for some reason, which maybe there's too much reflection off of it. Maybe there's not enough light in your camera, and you put it on auto, and it's so far away that the sensor doesn't know how to read it. Duh. That's literally what is happening.
It's almost like you think this is explainable.
Oh my god, yes.
You can clearly see how fast.
I feel like it's a drone that has like that there's those drones that have the circles around them, but its sensors are seeing it a different way or something. Like it's seeing it like in a full circle, and I don't know. It's the sensors problem. That's what's really happening. That's all that's happening.
This next one is from Florida, where in the open ocean, a person recorded this huge transparent looking craft.
It's a cruise ship that is mirroring itself. We're seeing the top and the bottom right here through mirroring of atmospheric reflection, and there's other words that I don't remember what
the way
they are.
Like moonlight is happening, or lights on the ship itself. I don't like.
Yeah, and atmospheric refraction is what's happening. That's what's happening right here, because it happens if it's hot. Yeah, it's too hot or too cold, and
it could be
these
like
lights
something that's kind of beyond the horizon, but the image is kind of floating. That's a very common thing. Flurfs bring that up all the time too, right? They see.
Yeah, and we know and we've seen that's and especially because it's light.
Yeah.
Then that's easier for that to happen because it can reflect and or do this. I mean, this is easy. It's a fucking cruise ship or any ship.
Yeah, something.
But I'm guessing
it's right? Like, it's not just more.
I'm guessing
it's more ocean isn't gonna like loom up there like.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's a huge vessel, but so like I said, I don't know, but that's what's happening is that atmospheric refraction.
This next video is from 2008 from England, where a news channel was reporting on the clearest saucer-shaped UFO sighting recorded.
That's the clearest. You guys need to get better fucking cameras other than a P19000 or whatever the fuck that bullshit is.
Which someone reported to the media.
Well, I'd hate to say that's the clearest one, eh?
Yeah, that's horrible. And it's spinning very slowly. So once again, it could be hanging from a string being risen by something else, which normally now we pretty much know that they're drones that are doing this. So this is just good edited video with something making that little thing hover. Oh, in Brazil, that could be 1.5 million things.
In Brazil?
Yes, in Brazil.
We have access to a lot of the same technology we have around the rest of the world. Brazil's a pretty place. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, they are. Yeah. And so I mean, you could take a drone and just put a fucking hula hoop around it that had its lights that were rotating, right? And you can just put a middle light inside of here, and this is what it would look like. That's what it would look like.
Yeah,
and if you wanted to make it look even weirder, what you would do is you would fly it in a way that would do this, and you can also tilt your camera so it looks even more auspicious and not like, you know. But that's easy. You could do a fucking on top of a pole. You could put a light, and you could do this in a gazillion and a half ways. Again, you could just put a pole, put that light, put the thing on there, and spin it, and then walk back and start, because the clip is only so long, which is seconds or 10.
I mean,
you
like
could
model rocketry
easily
would do a lot of this stuff, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to do that. Is easy to replicate.
You gotta do something up in the air
And
for like
this
a
is-
few seconds and clip out the parts that you want people to like be weirded out by it or whatever, right?
Yeah, this is the sphere balls I was talking about earlier, that people are just putting hanging from a drone on a fishing line, heavy fishing line. But see how it's cloudy? That's why they waited until it was cloudy to do this, because guess what? The sensor's not going to see the fucking fishing line in this kind of thing. So, and then it also looks spooky.
Yeah, there's a lot of fishing lines, like the monofilament, like clear, translucent looking fishing lines that you cannot see them at all when they're underwater, and they're even hard to see in low light conditions. Like if you don't have
they're made that
shining
way
off of them. They're made that way on purpose.
Yeah, because you don't want fish to see them for one.
Yeah.
And they make shit that's like 120-pound test. So you literally can put 120 pounds on it and pull it, and technically it won't. Well, it'll snap. Well, around
It'll snap
there.
under certain conditions. But
Yeah,
there's lots of the pull strength on a lot of these things is quite good for like the types of fish people are going to go after, and bigger fish you're going to have wire leaders and stuff like that, and
then it matters on how much pull and how much gumption they're going to have.
The way you tie your knots and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of tricks in fishing to give yourself the maximum strength, but a lot of it is like not shock loading, right? Like by having the shock absorption in your rod,
why,
and shock absorption in the line a little bit. Yeah.
That's why in Red Dead Redemption they have the thingy where you stop reeling it in when they start struggling, because it's kind of the same thing in real life, you know.
You set the hook and
you set the hook and you let them wear themselves out to some extent, but then you wait for them to get tired to start reeling them in. So instead of doing it,
but I can understand how that might work.
Instead of doing it when they're fighting, like that's pretty much what you're saying. You wait for them to be in a different, for them to like be resting, and then you start pulling them in, and then they struggle, sit there for a couple seconds, especially like sharks and a large fish. You have to do that for sure. And it takes forever and a half to pull one in, but fuck it, that's what happens. But you can't just sit there and just yank on it the whole time. Otherwise, it's going to break the line and you're going to lose the thing. And then that thing is going to have that in their face for however long. So, and that's the other thing is if you want to be ethical, even if you release, you want to get it on board so you can take out the hook and then release it if it's healthy and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of like this was not the case when I was a young kid, but as I've gotten older, like the idea of like resuscitating a fish, making sure like handling it with a glove so you don't pull all the natural coverings off of it, and helping resuscitate it, making sure it's got strength to swim on its own and all that kind of stuff. And then if it gets destroyed, you keep it, you eat it, like, so you're not you're not wasting a natural resource. That's the way. That's the way. Like we were always taught that anyway. But then when they started putting catch limits in and getting weirded out by stuff like that, it's like, okay, well, you want to keep like the ones that are good to eat, and maybe take a quick picture with the one that's and you try to put the bigger ones back. If you don't wear them out and kill them, put them back. If not, eat them.
Exactly. Right. So I've been fishing since I was young, and when I was a counselor and training for the YMCA, fishing was one of the things I taught kids. I taught skateboarding, fishing, and rock climbing. So
those are hard to do all at the same time. I must have been quite a class.
Hey, fly fishing and rock climbing, that's some fun.
Well, I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying doing all three at once is that's a rough go.
Well, now you know why I'm a sword swallower, because I can do all of those things at once.
Yeah, well, hey, that's something you want to be very careful with.
Yeah, I know. I've caught myself with a hook many times. It's not fun. I hate catching myself with a hook.
That is not a good. Yeah, I've been to the hospital twice to have a hook removed. Once from my head, once from my arm.
Oh, fuck. I've had to remove so many hooks from so many kids. Jesus.
Yeah.
So this ball is, again, so this building is this way, and the reason why they're shooting it this way is because above is the drone that's carrying the ball, and they edited it, but they didn't do this right, and so they had to edit it so that the ball went way too high. And then they cut it, and then they cut, see, yep. And then they cut it right before you can see the drone. Now you can't see the drone. Then they cut it, and then so they've already proven this in multiple debunking videos where people have shown that you could do this. Okay, so UFO in China. Let's see the amazing proof that they have.
Recorded, and news channels reported multiple lights in the sky. At first, there was only one, but in a few minutes, the true sighting was revealed.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, remember, folks, as soon as we show this, you're going to have to watch it now, because they're going to take down the channel because it's so... It exposes UFOs so much.
What you think this is? This scene appeared in Fujian, and of course, many netizens have captured it on their phones. We first noticed an unidentified flying object. According to eyewitnesses, it initially appeared as a dot and then spread out into a geometric pattern. At first, people thought it was a drone.
Okay, are you going to turn it into video?
The number of flying objects increased, and the shape suddenly turned into a circle.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, show it, lady. Show it. Show it. Come on, come on. It could be so many. Oh my god. You mean things falling from the sky like meteors? Wait, I'm confuzzled. Is that what they're talking about? It's like space things falling into the atmosphere, or something else is happening. Something else is happening. That's not good proof, lady. It looks like meteors or falling things. Okay. We're gonna go here next. I'm gonna check the... Okay. Let's go into this. I'm gonna skip that, get into different alien species.
Psychic Edgar Casey, a type of alien known as the Arcturians from the Arcturus star system, may have been visiting Earth.
Arcturians are a galactic civilization renowned for their ability to heal instantly.
Dun, dun.
Arcturians have allegedly even relayed messages to humans via telepathy, often referred to as channeling. Reportedly, many of these messages relate to the healing of the Earth, and some believe these beings to be close to the divine, or could even be considered guardians of Earth.
They operate in alignment with the Guardian Host Law of One protocols, which guide their interactions with humanity.
Some who have reported...
Do they?
Well, you know what? When the narrator speaks like this, you know it's 100% true, right?
Then it has to be real, yeah. And it was on the History Channel. I think that's where that voice comes from.
It was on the
and of course,
History Channel, and it's narrated by this like.
And it's Watch Mojo.
Deep voice. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Then it's definitely.
You basically can't even bring these things into doubt. You just know it's true.
Exactly.
We've been contacted, described being taken to a different reality by the Arcturians, and some humans even believe themselves.
You think that lady looks sane? You think that lady fucking is going to tell you anything that's going to make any fucking sense?
Arcturian?
Fuck no. I believe she thinks she is.
Okay.
To be star seeds, like alien beings.
Right? Oh, the star seeds. We're going to talk about star seeds. This bitch thinks she's a star seed. Yeah, that's what's going on.
To have incarnated on Earth
in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
Help in the evolution of humanity.
Now, what
She's a spirit nomad.
is the mission of Arcturian starseeds? Most Arcturian starseeds came to planet Earth to innovate and guide it.
And what do you people fucking do other than sit around and tell people that you're vegan and that they need to do everything and that you're somehow special because you think with no proof that you're a alien or something? Okay, cunt. Good on you. You fucking. You know what I love about these people is when they start telling me this shit. Well, when they start telling me this shit, I'm like, yep, I'm not gonna fucking be around you anymore. Peace. Like that, you totally threw up so many red
like
flags.
When you
and I'm
meet
like,
someone like this in the real world,
yeah, and they start,
I remember when I was, I stopped for a sandwich or something, and some guy started talking to me about chemtrails and the flat Earth, and then I came and was talking to you folks. I don't know how many months or years ago that was, but that was hilarious. I think the first time I've met one in the wild, so to speak.
I get to hear all of the fun conspiracies. I have met.
You just hang out in better places than I do.
Well, I mean,
depends on how you look at it.
Sure, and I do well. I don't know, and I also kind of like seek it out to some small extent.
Well, you are, but your circles might be a little more. I don't know if they're wider, but they're certainly maybe more varied in terms of the types of folks you meet when you're doing carnivals and tattoo shows and stuff. You might meet like a slightly larger density of people that are a little on the edge of reality, but those things don't necessarily go hand in hand.
No, you're right. I met some Moors the other day. I met a Moorish couple.
The Moors, oh yeah, like the
they think that they're
that's a weird thing. Yeah, they think they're some sort of magical descendants
of nothing for no reason.
Like they don't understand that the Moors is like it's a region of North Africa and
and they think that's
a real thing, and they somehow have conflated it to something else. And
and they think that they don't have to abide by rules in America, but they want all the protections of all the rules. Because what it was is they had their dog. They had their dogs off leash. The parents were inside drinking at the bar while they had their kids outside with the dog. The dog was not on the leash. The bartender went outside. She's okay with dogs, but the dog jumped on her, and she came in and said, "Hey, I love dogs, but you have to have it on a leash legally." Like, that is it.
You gotta have
if that happened to
all over people.
Yeah, if that happened to a customer and they were allergic or it scratched them, and then we have, and then they started being like, we're native of the land and we don't have to, we can do whatever we want. Who are you white people to tell us what? It was so funny. It turned so racist really fast. And like, I had to get up and be like,
there's this weird sort of racism. And it's like, it's kind of like a very special flavor of soft sit, but it's like, it's kind of its own thing, but it's very, very similar. It's just like,
it's really weird.
It's a very, very narrow type of soft sit. And they're like, well, like soft sit isn't a real thing, but like our thing is totally real. And I don't
it was crazy. They said all the tropes. They said all the tropes. They literally, homie, like tried to fight me like 3 times, and he called me he called me a fag. I can say it because I'm.
Well,
but he literally called. Like he literally.
Not a friendly term.
Well, and I'm not. He like so. This dude called me that multiple times, and I said, "So what if I'm gay? Yeah, I'm gay. Cool." And he that got pissed him off even more. That's even funnier what I say. I'm like, yeah, obviously I'm gay, dumbass.
Yeah.
And they're like,
whoa. Cigarette.
And he's like, come outside and fight. And I was like, no, homie. And then he kept making it race. He's like, you white people are ganging up on us. I was like, no. You're not following the law and the rules that happen in certain places that have food.
Yeah,
that was the main thing. And like, we're not being a dick. And if the dog, well, the other thing is they were not paying attention to their kids for like an hour, and the dog, like that was the other reason. That was the other reason why we stopped, and we were like, or I was like, you guys aren't. And I knew they were going to be a problem because they were dressed like Moors, which is funny to say, and I think that they have a YouTube account that I've watched. I think no. The lady had the braids and the dreads, and then she had the camo jacket, and then he had the certain button-down shirt with that little hat that they wear, and like they look,
the Fez.
Yeah, they looked like they were. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
so
saying
they
that
were
because
like,
they're black. I'm
No,
saying
because
they
they
dressed,
were
they
wearing-
acted,
wearing a
they did
certain
everything.
uniform
They
or
did
whatever,
everything, and everything that they said to me. I like at first I was like, I don't know if they're Moors. I was like, I don't know. I'm like, I could be being prejudiced right now. But when I saw them, they sat down.
Chance they aren't actually Moorish.
Yeah.
Like, at
No,
all. Like,
no,
they
you're
could
right. No,
from
you're right. And I
somewhere
said,
else,
I
but,
thought, wow. I was like, that's fucking crazy because they're dressed exactly like Moors, but they didn't do anything at first. Although they did have their kids outside and they had the dog and they were not paying attention to them while they were drinking in the bar. But
yeah, I think like looking after your children if they're under a certain age,
then they started. Then they brought up on the more stuff. Then that's when they were like, "Oh, we're the blah blah the land. We don't have to do this. We don't have to put a leash on our dog. We can do this."
Special just cause.
Yeah.
Like,
That's when that
you know
happened.
what? There's a lot of bad shit that happens to people for a lot of stupid reasons.
Yeah.
And none of that excuses that kind of behavior.
No, you still have to abide. Like, if you want the privileges of a society, you have to give back to that society at least as much as you can. I break the law all the time minorly. But I'm not like when like if I get in trouble for something, I'm like, yep, I fucked up. Yeah, no, it's my fault. Yeah, no, I don't deserve, And I know that I should have been in prison when I got arrested for LSD, but I was like a white boy and I like had good grades and blah blah blah. I know.
Yeah, see, you got a break that you might not have gotten otherwise, and that's
and I get that.
It's good to be aware of that.
Yeah, and I get that, and that's why yeah, and that's why I try to not use privilege. Like, that's another reason why I modified myself, and I know that doesn't change anything 100%, but it was like, no, now I'm like, I didn't do it to be the struggler. But I was like, nah, dude, I have been served so much fucking good shit in my life. And even now, it actually helps everything. But it was part of it. Like, I felt fucking horrible for a handful of things I did in my past. And was like, I'm going to do some things to myself so I can take pain and suffering. Or I'm pretending to martyrize myself. But it's for a lot of reasons. But anyways, let's crack on with different types of aliens.
Into a new, better future.
Syrians. Aliens who call the star system Sirius home are often referred to as Syrians.
The term.
They're serious. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm going to.
I had no idea about that, but I'm assuming this is where Siri is from.
Yeah.
Like on the iPhone, is that she's a Syrian? I'm not
probably.
Sure it has a female-sounding voice. I don't want to be overly presumptuous.
I think that they came up with it for another reason, but I don't remember what. But it would be funny if they use it. So I'm gonna sneak. Yeah, I'm gonna sneak away and I'm gonna grab another burr, and then we'll talk about this more.
Syrians broadly refers to the diverse Anunnaki races hailing from the Sirius star system and have connections with Earth's ancient history.
In 1977, a message was broadcast across parts of southern England, claiming to be from an entity calling itself Ashtar, rumored to be the leader of the Syrians, representing their society.
Ashtar is here, and he says to me that he wants us to activate and remember our starseed essence.
The message was one seemingly of goodwill, advising humans to remove all of the weapons of evil, and that they were deeply concerned, pledging to all they could to help humanity. There was even mention of Sirius, their home star, in Egyptian mythology. The goddess Sobtet was the personification of Sirius.
Whoa. Did I just hear subtit? Did you just say subtit? I swear to God.
I heard subtet, which I wasn't. I don't. Is a subtit? That's bottom boob. That's the for bottom boob.
I'm down for that. I want some subtit.
So like we got the Anunnaki, which I've heard.
Yeah.
Of. These are all hollow Earth legends, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, okay, there's
literally.
The Anunnaki. Ashtar, who I was pretty sure was that. I think that was a Canadian commercial from the 80s, but about like the asteroid boy, but it was named Ashtar, but I could be wrong. And And then this woman, she's on a Zoom call with these alien guys and girls, you know,
Yes.
whoever. But she's not able to show them to us. She's like, she's translating for us, I guess. She's a conduit for this nonsense.
Yes.
All right. I mean,
Egyptian mythology.
I don't know. I have some doubts. But I'm like, I'm not unwilling to like be open-minded about some of this.
Again, we want to believe in this shite, but like citation needed. We need more proof. I mean,
the more foreboding the narrator, the more likely it is to be true.
Yeah.
The goddess Subtit was the personification.
I swear to God, he said Subtit.
Of Sirius, the dog star.
I don't care. I'm going to say Subtit. Everybody hashtag Subtit.
Her name means she who brings, a goddess whose arrival in the sky signaled the most important event of the year.
Anunnaki. The oldest civilization known to mankind, the Sumerians, seem to have believed in gods called the Anunnaki.
What we're looking at here.
So now here's the Anunnaki again. We've gone over these motherfuckers 1.5 million 10 times.
There's a Sumerian tablet that actually shows the tree of life, flanked by divine.
Is that what that fucking shows? Really?
I mean, I think the Sumerians are like the oldest recorded civilization that we know of to date, but that doesn't mean they're the oldest civilization. That means that's archaeology has unearthed that.
Yeah, we found,
but we've recorded earlier hominids, and who knows
what
we'll find in the future, right?
Yeah.
Like civilization is kind of a very broad word, but you know, I think.
And how do we know?
Recorded history is kind of a blurry line, and so is, you know, what we know about. You know, that could just be the one where stuff has survived, or they used recordings. They carve stuff in stone or something where we could read or understand what was going on or have some idea of what they were about. I don't know if that really is like proof of an earliest civilization. I'm not an expert on it, but like I have my doubts that that's as far back as we go.
People made things out of wood, out of fucking everything, and things were not. And then also when certain cultures overtook others, they destroyed their history. So you never know what was happening before because we destroyed it. But again, how do we know this is the fucking tree of life symbology?
You can see here the Anunnaki on each side.
They were believed to be
and
he's explaining it to
spring
you
of
right
the sun
now.
god On
right
and
there,
Ki.
So you have to know.
Earth gods. In the 1960s and 70s, the Anunnaki were written about in books such as Chariots of the Gods and.
Yeah, I'm not believing anything that was written in the 1960s like this.
It was written in a book, Slim.
Oh yeah, but
there was a
how much LSD were they on? I don't remember this cover for this. Jesus Christ. Okay,
of Timothy Leary,
both of which
I'm really not sure.
It looks like they're on some LSD.
The Sumerian texts, suggesting that these gods were actually ancient aliens.
The four wheels had rims, and they had spokes, and their rims were full of eyes round about. Were these the engines of a spaceship?
It's debated whether or not the Anunnaki could be considered visitors of Earth because they may have been here before humans, though some believe them to hail from a planet called Nibiru that only comes near Earth's orbit every 3,600 years.
For nights before the calamity struck, in the heavens, Nibiru as a glowing star was seen.
Star people or sky beings. Whether they referred to them as star people, star beings, sky people, or sky beings, many
Jesus Christ, same difference, you weirdos.
Native American tribes believe in what would be considered aliens to many around the world.
To the Zuni people and other tribes, there's a spiritual connection with star beings.
Yeah, but they believe, and I'm not putting this down, and I'm being as respectful as possible, they believe there are spirits in everything. So everything has a soul, everything is a being.
That's quite common, and it's not one.
Yeah.
There's not one like Native American society.
Culture.
Like, there's a lot of commonality.
There's like 100. There's like 100 or something.
There's so many different groups.
And if we go back.
Yeah. Go ahead.
If we go back really quick to pagan religion, same difference. They believed in medieval time, which is almost the same time of the native stuff, everything had a something and everything meant something in the universe and it had a purpose. Nowadays, we fucking thrown that bullshit out the window by having the Jeebus and the fucking Christianity, where all you have to do is jerk off and say that you give forgiveness before you die after you molested a gazillion and a half people and killed them, and then all you have to.
True, but that,
No,
is,
I know.
that is something that's happened far too often. And yeah, no, the indigenous peoples around the world have their own cultures, and just because they didn't use like writings, or that their writings weren't preserved as well, and we know that people have gone out of their way to erase the history of others, and so to take these things as a given is one thing. And a lot of like in North America, from what I understand, a lot of the cultural traditions are still passed down by an oral tradition, and like
mainly
a folk storytelling tradition from generation to generation, as more and more of it may be getting written down and recorded in different modern ways. But there's a lot of respect for tradition amongst lots of groups, and them included, and so therefore they do tell their stories from generation to generation. And,
when we did rendezvous and we did powwows, a lot of the things that were being said by the speakers or by somebody talking about representing a certain style or the story for the style, I never saw them pull out a scroll or have a teleprompter. They literally would just say that fucking from the top of their head, because they had heard it so many times and they probably has said it so many times. And that's the way it is in certain cultures like that. Is why write it down if we can always, as long as it keeps being told. The problem is there's gaps where eventually like enough people die. Like say a smallpox outbreak happens in town. Well, everybody knew that story's fucking gone now. Oh well, we don't have it.
How many millions of times has that happened over history? Where by accident, by design, where genocide has happened or something terrible.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Whole cultures have been wiped out, and they say the history is written by the victors, and that is also true. And so cultures that are not even that long ago lost are they're lost to all of us. We don't and even if we all studied every day of the year about every culture that's out there that ever has been, no single person would ever know it all. It's just human history is that big, and human history compared to the Earth's history is such a small piece.
And it's a spit in the eye of fucking history. If I mean, this thing has been going around us and happening way longer than our idiot asses can even understand. That's literally how long it's been.
Yeah. And we're committing things to electronic memory that we have no idea how well preserved that might be over time.
Yeah. That's true.
Things that have been etched out in stone may long outlast anything that's recorded in electronic media, and or the ability to even read what's on there, right?
You literally can just fart inside of some components or something, right? And then just enough certain gas in the wrong way,
the wrong amount of moisture, the wrong amount of heat.
That's what I'm saying. Just
physical deterioration, and we don't know what will happen to human society of today. We really we tend very seldom to look far into the future, and
nowadays we don't
go. I think we should have a lot more respect for those that have lived before us and what they went through and how they lived, and I appreciate that people are keenly interested in that, and we should respect and know about each other's backgrounds and cultures. I do suspect that some of this Anunnaki stuff isn't a really great retelling of history of these cultures.
This is the dumbest shit to do.
So I feel like maybe they're not getting the truth out to us in these television programs and things.
And they're manipulating natives to get them to say things the way they want, that they can cut up and use for
there's a few crumbs of truth in there, like there is in many things, and it's
they saw sky stuff, I'm sure. And did they
think about what the sky looked like before light pollution?
Oh, it would be insane. It would be like frying on acid for us. Literally, it would be like doing drugs because the sky would be moving.
If you live in even where I live, I see way more stars. Than I see if I stop on a city run and stop in the middle of the night where there's all the light, you can't see a single star sometimes. And where I live, which is not that far from urban light pollution, I can still see way more stars. And I go a little bit further out into the, people know I travel across parts of Canada that are pretty remote, and you can see way more. And it's amazing how much is still visible. And that's without that's by the naked eye. If you have anything to capture on a film or something, it's just even more amazing. But just we the things that people wouldn't have had any scientific understanding of what was going on. Who would be surprised that there were stories made up to explain these strange goings on up in the sky?
And there's so many things. There's so many things of the mabobbers that could cause anomalies to happen anyways. Other than that, I mean, just something falling into the atmosphere is going to cause it to do weird, crazy shit. You have lightning storms, you have ball lightning, you have atmospheric, you have swamp gas, you have a handful of other things that are going to cause anomalies. And how many people don't fucking wear glasses? And the only reason I'm bringing this up is I just went and got my eye examined, and I don't really need glasses, but it's nice to fucking wear readers now.
Edge,
Yeah. And then I need them for very, very far away for driving.
Yeah, I wear glasses, and I've started to need them for reading as well because I'm an old man.
Yeah. And I need them for touring.
That's relatively new technology too, right?
Exactly.
Relative to human history, I think.
I think even 50 years ago, it was horrible. 50 years ago, it was horrible.
But it's only a few centuries of human technology that we've had really good optics of any kind.
I think it's actually 100. I think it's 100 years ago. Benjamin Franklin would be some of the first times they had. He had those certain glasses or whatever the fuck. So
to wear on.
I think around then.
I meant more about optics for telescopes and.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. So Victorian era. So Victorian era.
I think
that would be
earlier,
Victorian era.
Right? I think.
Sure. Maybe I don't know. I don't. Yeah, it could be.
I think it might be 1600s.
Sure. Yeah, that's what I was.
People knew about glass and crystals and things changing light before that, but to actually harness it and specifically say, hey, if I polish this piece of glass this way and this one that way, I can change how far I can see.
If I make them like this,
a technological development.
No, I think that's 100 years old or something, but I could be wrong. And I think Benjamin Franklin was one of the first people who had but it could be Victorian era was when they realized, oh my God, I can see really small
grinding,
things.
Maybe to grind lenses to wear on your eyes, that would correct your vision. Yeah, I think that's relatively recent.
Yeah, but telescopes and microscopes are that
I think Galileo definitely had telescopes, and they existed prior to him.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I'm certainly no expert in the history of optics.
But I think we are on the right page, and if not, side chat, that's your chance to prove us wrong. No, but I think we're
set us straight. I don't think we're. I think we're.
I think we're on it.
I think.
No, I think we're on it.
That the idea that the Victorians maybe had corrective lenses to wear around all day, that probably is not inaccurate. And
they had oneers. I do know they had monocles, but I don't know if they had spectacles. I don't know if they had both eyes.
Spectacles, I don't think are a long, but I do know that people have for snow blindness and stuff have had cutting slits in something that you a mask you wore over your eyes to cut down.
Yeah. Okay.
From snow and stuff. That's a thing that's been around for longer time than that, but that's not the same as sunglasses by any means. But and I think something we all know other celestial events have made people wonder for a long time, like the eclipses and other sort of weird things that happen, things like different colors of the moon that you get with certain types of things that happen.
Can you imagine the different colors of the sky at night and or during the let's just say in the night without artificial light at all? Like it would look like the aurora borealis a lot of times, I'm sure.
Well, you'd probably be able to see it in more places. Although it would just caused by different
or just say that you can see other galaxies or something else, or just you can see a star cluster and you see colors in that. Like, I mean, and then if you took fucking like ayahuasca, mescaline, peyote, psilocybin, and or any mead, anything, dude, you know how crazy the sky would look? Of course you're gonna say there's fucking a magic sky daddy up there fucking doing crazy shit. If you didn't have
the aurora
artificial
borealis
light
in particular is a very amazing thing to see with your own eyes.
Well, even a meteor shower. I mean, if you see a meteor shower in the middle of the desert or something, it looks like the sky is falling. I mean, literally, it looks like we're all gonna die. Run for cover.
Yeah, if you hit a big enough one, like you'll see quite a few per minute will come down over the course of a night or two, even, and like, you know.
I want to say it was Halley's Comet, but I don't know if that was. But there was a meteor shower that was happening, and we went into the middle of like Death Valley Desert, or almost close to it, which is like one of the closest places to not seeing. And dude, it looked like it was raining fire. It was insane.
I don't know if Halley's Comet.
No, but it was around that time.
Meteor shower, but it may have been a time when that was back.
It was around it or something. I don't. Yeah.
Like
it was 19. It was 1995 or something.
I feel like it was earlier than that, but I do
1994?
not know. I do not
94?
know. I feel like Halley's Comet came by in the 80s, but I could be entirely wrong.
I feel like I was a teenager, but you're right. It may be when I was 12, but or 8. It may have been when I was 8, but I thought it was when I was like. No, you're right. It probably is 87 or something like that. Somebody look it up. But anyways,
that seems like not too far off. Mid 80s certainly strikes.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right.
I remember reading that it was like I had like a book that I had a book that I had that was for young kids, and it was, or even it was a magazine for kids. It was something like that, and it talked about Halley's Comet before it came, and it's not something I would have had into the 90s. I would have been too old in the 90s to have.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So I don't. But that doesn't mean I'm right about the timing. I'm just thinking of where I was reading about Halley's Comet when it was like, hey, Halley's Comet's coming. And I'm like,
and
I wasn't old enough to, or I wasn't young. Like, I was too young when that happened for it to have been in the 90s is what I'm saying.
I could have be thinking of this wrong, and maybe when I saw the meteor shower it was 1992
well,
or
in the mid 90s when I was, and I'm a bit older than you are,
Beck.
Slim, so I very much hey Beck, I very much would have been maybe like out on my own on a camping trip mid 90s.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing a meteor shower.
It was like a famous one.
It was a wild thing, and everyone was expecting it. And I was camping with some friends.
Okay.
And I remember seeing it like above one of the Great Lakes. I think it was Lake Erie. We were out in the sticks over the lake, not near a big center of any kind. And I remember seeing these things all raining down for like hours. And we went and sat on the beach and watched it happen. It was pretty cool. I'm pretty sure that's where it was.
It looked like 200.
It was a particular thing, but it was like so many of them.
It looked like somebody was shooting off fireworks, but they're all like getting shot in a certain in this direction. You know what I'm saying?
Streaks.
Like,
yeah, they were streaks.
But they were this huge balls of different color light. Most of them were red and orange and yellows, but their trail. And this is before I had done LSD yet, and the fucking trails were just fucking insane. And we just sat there like, are you ketamine me? Like, what the fuck is going on? It was insane. And like, can you imagine not understanding what that was?
Thing.
Yeah. And can you imagine not
well,
knowing what that was and that happening?
Sort of understand.
Yeah. So Jasper says February 9th, 1986 was when it happened. Mid-1990s, we were sitting outside on the fairgrounds and saw many shooting stars.
Yeah, I would have been like, I would have been about 9 or 10.
It was, yeah.
Time frame, yeah. So yeah. No,
I would have been 4. I would have been 4 years old.
Well,
5. No, I would have been
recorded Haley's Comet at
5 years.
4-ish. That's pretty.
I was
cool.
5 years old.
4 or 5, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's I mean, that's pretty impressive work for a 5-year-old.
But I remember the thingy when I was like 12.
And a meteorite are not the same thing.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like.
So
and I don't know.
Definitely,
but I don't know
they
what
were
you
definitely
see.
two.
I don't know exactly
different.
what you see in the sky with a comet. I think it depends
I
on how
remember
close they
seeing
get.
the comet with the tail, barely, but the meteor shower was definitely when I was like 12. So that's not the same thing you bothered. So
the
anyways,
ones that actually rule the universe or the world that we're.
They called him Starboy.
And there's a wonderful range of stories in many Native American groups that talk about some of the adventures and interactions with the sky people, with the humans on Earth.
Some see these beings as guides, helping to show the way to their people through the ages. UAPs.
And how did that help you out through the? Never mind. Okay. Let's go to the next thing. Yeah.
In the 1940s and 50s, science fiction popularized the idea of little green men from space, or aliens, as we would now call them.
Who's in charge here?
The Claw.
Outside of fiction, however, there have been some fairly well-known reports of these beings. Most famously, the Kentucky Goblins. In August of 1955.
Oh shit!
Oh my Jesus
This is
Christ!
news to me. The Kentucky Goblins.
And that lady and this lady, oh my God, she's fucking crazy. This lady is crazy. I mean, you can see the crazy on her face, but Jesus.
Well, I can't look right now, but I'm gonna take your word for it.
No, go. We'll hear her.
I trust your crazy meter.
Yeah, and we'll hear her in just a minute.
Most famously, the Kentucky Goblins. In August of 1955, 11 witnesses claimed to have had close contact with short, green humanoid beings who had landed a ship on their Kelly, Kentucky farm.
By the time the night was over, you had police officers, you had reporters, you had people from...
You guys took all of the resources of your town and brought them somewhere. There could have been a rapist, a murderer, a rapist. There could have been a cult that was killing children in public, and all the police officers were here so they could watch this because you idiots are fucking so dumb.
Fort Campbell, all out there traipsing around the land trying to figure out, what happened that night.
In the 1970s, in Emilchin, Poland, farmer Jan Walski claimed to have been attacked and abducted by, quote, short, green-faced humanoid entities who showed up.
Dude, your fucking friends gave you a bunch of drugs, got you drunk, put on green outfits, and butt fucked you. That's what happened, homie. Like, I hate to tell it to you.
It's not impossible.
Well, I mean, again, it's Occam's razor. Is that the right thing, you bobber? The simplest answer.
I wouldn't want anybody to cut themselves with Occam's razor, but yes.
No,
yes,
but isn't that right?
The simplest explanation is most likely correct. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. So you were not probed, you were pegged. You literally somebody butt fucked your friends, your girlfriend, somebody convinced you to go somewhere while you were on drugs or high, or they got you that way.
You might have even just, maybe you went to the washroom in the middle of the night and you didn't realize, just how constipated you were when it finally came out. It was like, maybe you couldn't tell which direction things were going in. I mean, it doesn't even have to be malicious.
You showed up at that gas station bathroom at 3 a.m. and went in and didn't think that there was going to be somebody in there who wanted to flush out your backside, probe your backside, if you know what I mean. No, that's totally not a thing.
One of those glory holes.
Glory hole things, yeah. And just because they said they were an alien on the other side of the glory hole doesn't mean they're a fucking alien, dumbass.
A UAP the size of a bus adding to the mystery of the little green men.
Over the years, a number of ufologists have investigated the case. In general, some ufologists found the Walski story to be credible.
Insectoids, aliens that resemble
dun, dun, dun.
insects, are referred to as insectoids. The most popular type reported actually resemble a praying mantis.
The so-called...
Then why did you show bees? Why did you show bees then? You fucking weirdos.
Reported actually resemble a praying mantis.
The so-called praying mantis type could be seen perhaps as the queen bee. Larger than...
You think that...
That was the co-host on Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. God damn it, what is his fucking name? But yes, he played the keyboard, I think, right?
Yeah,
right?
I think so. Yeah, he had... I mean, he was some sort of like, he was like the Paul Schaefer to Space Ghost,
yeah,
right? Like
he was. Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I don't
this
know how
doesn't look like a praying mantis, motherfucker. This is a white. This is just a white.
It's not a
the
gray,
others.
it's a white? Okay.
It doesn't look like the praying mantis.
More
version.
intelligent.
Most of the reports...
They look more... They're not going to show it. You twats. Yeah, of course they're not going
suggest
to
that
show
these beings are telepathic in nature. There have even been reports in modern times of humans believing to have been abducted by mantis-like alien beings.
That's a fucking weird-ass fucking kink. I don't fucking even want to think about fucking having... Getting fucked by a human-sized mantis? No, thank you. I'll pass.
At times, allegedly taken on board after spotting their ship in the skies.
Might the numerous accounts of mantis-like beings reported by alleged alien abduction victims, along with the ancient San story of a praying mantis god, be evidence that an otherworldly race of insectoids really does exist?
Yeah, I mean, don't doubt this. This is just reality.
Yeah, with all the non-proof that we have. Yeah, don't just throw this. It's just like throwing the baby out with the kitchen water or the bathtub water or whatever.
It's the bath water. I don't think.
Sure, I don't care. I don't know. I don't have children, so I don't care. But no, I'm just kidding.
As an experienced parent, I can say wash your dishes and your baby separately.
Oh, you don't put your baby in the dishwasher?
No.
Never. I'm just kidding.
No, especially not with those new little not with the microplastics that they wrap around the detergents. You know, like that's dangerous for baby. They might
don't put your baby in the oven. Don't. Never mind.
Yeah,
but no, again.
Your baby doesn't belong in any kind of appliance. Okay?
It does not belong in anything in the kitchen. Let's put it that way.
That's
there
right.
we go. There we go.
That's right. Maybe in the I mean, my daughter loved being in that little motorized swing thing.
Yeah.
And who knows how many repetitive strain injuries we saved from not like swinging her ourselves, you know? Like
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, let's crack on.
They are rumored to hail from the Draco star system, having close ties with reptilians. More on them later, who may also come from the same star system. Some report these insectoids to even be shapeshifters.
Whoa, you weirdos.
Possibly even using their advanced knowledge to appear human.
She said, whatever
Well, I mean, if you're going to do that, go to San Francisco.
we humans are, we have an animus.
This fucking crazy ass bitch. We were gonna do a whole stream on her talking about aliens, but I could not stand listening to her.
Enema. She's an enema.
She looks like she's a fucking alien, and she does look like she does have an enema up her butt of aliens.
A soul that is mysterious to them. And they are trying to find out, where does the soul spirit go at the moment of death?
Nordics, or tall whites, or...
Why did they even add that part in? What the fuck was even going on with that? That's fucking weird as shit, bro. But anyways, let's crack on. So here's the whites.
Or Pleiadians. There are...
It's all the goddamn people we don't want to kick out of this country right now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
you know
just
what? I'm
joking.
pretty sure that the soul lives in theremin music.
Oh, don't tell me that bullshit. God damn it. I don't want to hear theremin fucking music.
Many names for alien beings coming from the Pleiadian star system.
Ancient civilizations, such as the Sumerians and the Mayans, have left behind intriguing references to these celestial beings.
Some refer to these...
Why do they look like little kids? That's scary.
Entities simply as Pleiadians, while other
I don't want that.
reports refer to them as the Nordics or the tall.
Okay, let's get into this.
Many who report.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get into
believed to possess advanced knowledge in areas such as healing, energy manipulation, and interdimensional travel.
Many who report having experienced contact with one of these entities state that they help to guide.
Okay. I will go back until they talk about the entity. I just want to get past the other one because
air-skinned humanoids. Most report these beings as being very beautiful and communicating mostly telepathically, which seems to be a theme among our list.
In addition to their telepathic abilities, Nordic...
Why? That doesn't make any sense that they all do that, but they have mouths, noses, and places to show emotions. But no, they're going to talk to us through other ways. Why would you have faces then? You literally could just have a blob face and go...
They've transcended mouth noises, Slim.
Yeah, but like, why would you still fucking have a mouth and vocal cords then, you twat?
Are believed to possess...
Not you, but these
aliens,
people. Like, this doesn't make sense.
I've seen aliens with like no mouth hole or nose hole, but I don't know how they breathe.
And
like, have they transcended air?
I mean, you could breathe out your butthole. I mean, there's nothing saying you can't breathe out other places.
Through their skeletons or their exoskeletons.
Yeah, you could breathe. You could breathe through your nipples if you really wanted. I mean, you can breathe through anything. Just it matters on where you are.
Though, I think like we've moved from the insectoid and reptilian style aliens into more of like a hominoid looking.
Yeah, humanoid.
I don't know if they're mammals, like,
and
we haven't tried to milk them or anything, but you know, they might be mammals.
Wait, we don't. Never mind. Yeah,
believed to possess advanced knowledge in areas such as healing, energy manipulation, and interdimensional travel.
Many who report having experienced contact with one of these entities state that they help to guide humanity, aiding in our spiritual growth. One of the most infamous conspiracies surrounding aliens has described these beings actually meeting with President Dwight D. Eisenhower, where a deal was allegedly struck in secret.
Yeah, because I believe somebody that looks like that. No, I'm just kidding.
Between the Nordic aliens and the human race.
The Nordic aliens.
The explanation for all those UFOs over Washington, D.C. in 1952.
I have no idea why would they be Nordic. That doesn't make any fucking sense because they're not fucking earthbound, you fucking idiots.
Was radar anomalies, temperature inversion. The pilots weren't sure what they were seeing.
Inversion? So, like if it was 71, all of a sudden it became 17? Is that what you're saying?
Well, and guess what? Sometimes you go through anomalies that your instruments do weird things, especially back in the day when going through different pressure thingy-mabobbers made it so those instruments did things. Going into space, it was a lot easier.
Instruments were more apt to be affected by like magnetic fields and shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. And pressure and, other things because they didn't know how to seal them properly or whatever.
Systems and shit, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of things could have happened that made them do woo, because there's a lot of things where there can be a lot of anomalies that happen to equipment that they didn't test properly to know that they wouldn't do those things. Why we have the instruments we have nowadays is because they figure that shit out.
Because of technology.
And they went, if you go through a thunderstorm, this is going to happen with this thingy. There's going to be a surge.
You could shield equipment. You can do like electronic shielding and stuff. Or we might have learned a thing or two. You never know.
Or we have to test for that. Okay, that makes sense. Now we have to rate blah 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 blah. There you go. That's how we make sure things don't fall out of the fucking sky. Trump. Anyways,
I mean, you might be on something there, Slim.
Yeah.
Say UFOs are among us? Absolutely not.
Reptilians or reptoids.
One
of the most well-known types of aliens allegedly visiting Earth are the reptilians or reptoids, aptly named for their resemblance to reptiles.
Don't mention the reptiles.
Don't mention the reptiles, yeah.
While some researchers claim that
don't mention them, except for when you do, you get 1.5 million clicks and then you become famous. No, but don't write books about them. Don't do anything. Don't expose them because you're gonna blah blah blah. But you can do it over and over and over again. whatever that douche nozzle's name is, fucking David, fucking whatever, cunt whistle, punk ass little bitch. Anyways.
I don't know who you're talking about, but you seem upset with them.
This guy.
Reptilians or reptoids.
The guy who's going to talk right now.
One of the most well-known types of
hold on.
aliens allegedly visiting Earth are the reptilians or reptoids, aptly named for their resemblance to reptiles.
Don't mention the reptiles.
Don't mention the David. Who is this on the right? David Icke. This crazy motherfucker. David Icke's fucking crazy.
So, yeah. While some researchers claim they hail from the Draco star system, others believe them to be interdimensional beings. Ancient carvings of reptile-like humanoids can...
Why is your hand like that? You fucking... No, I know. Probably something was in there. And just because they look weird, they're wearing a mask. Do you see there's like a thing where it's around there? And it looks like there's actually a thing back here holding it on. And they look like they're wearing an outfit. They probably don't have covering here, but they're wearing an outfit. And it also looks like maybe there's something around them as well. So this is the costuming that these people would wear when they're representing certain deities, because that's what they would do, is they would represent deities in rituals like the Native Americans do. And that I'm only going to say that because I've seen it firsthand that way. There's somebody who dresses up as this and does this ceremony for this time of the year, and then this, and then we do a dance behind them or around them to represent. So most of the time, these things were representations of what the people would wear. And also, if it was a deity, the only way for them to make their eyes bug out like that and to make their nose and other things happen, and for them to have this scarification or these patternings around their body, because it looks like this is an arm guard, and there's something on this outside, and there's also rings here. So this is an outfit that somebody would wear as regalia or as a representation of something, and it could just be the representation of some weird thing that some fucking shaman hallucinated. I mean, that's very simple as well.
Even be found across the world.
Some are clay, some are of granite or limestone.
What does that have to do with anything, you fucking psychopath? I fucking hate that dude too.
Reports, these entities may be able to shapeshift and appear to be human.
And citation needed, where, why, how, what, huh?
Possibly because of this rumored ability, it's reported that over 10 million Americans believe that the country is ruled by these reptilian overlords, making it one of the most popular conspiracy theories regarding alien beings, being referenced aplenty within modern entertainment.
Within us is the whole
Oh, then this fucking nut job too. Jesus Christ, Beavis and or Butthead. He's an author, investigative mythologist.
Evolutionary development of humankind, as well as the other species that humans developed from, reptiles, fish, and so forth.
What if the truth about
reptiles, fish, and so forth? Okay. I think that's where we're going to end it today. I'm beeping exhausted. Yesterday, for my birthday, we went on the lake and we kayaked and was in the sun. Luckily, I don't think I got sunburned. I don't feel like I did. So, and then tomorrow is 4th of July, and I'm going to go and hang out with peoples and go do things in public for tomorrow. So, thank you very much, Al, for being here. Thank you all very much in the Cinema Chats for being here. And anybody else who watches this in the future, all the way until now, please make sure that you're subscribed. You have hit the bell notification. Then you share if you can, or just rewatch and watch other videos, especially just my regular videos on my channel. Just go show them some love, or the shorts or something, and just give some more watch time, give some more clicks, because that's what we need for the channel. Thank you all very much for being here. Thank you, Al, and love you some reptile. Thank you very much back for the belated birthday happies. So we'll see you all next time later and next week. Same freak time, same freak channel. Bye. We'll get the fuck out of here.
Thanks, everybody. Good
Bye.